NBA playoffs?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's roll.
Who wants to start us off?
Well, I'll start us off.
I'll go last.
I think before we even talk about the game, can we talk about what LeBron James is wearing to these pre-games? I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. What are these cutoff shorts with the suit and the $40,000 alligator bag? Are you guys seeing this? Am I the only one that sees this?
No, you're not the only one, Quinn. I saw the pictures on Facebook and Instagram. Like, I saw one where it was LeBron's outfit next to an outfit Tim Duncan wore to a basketball game. I'm like, shoot, I identify more with the Tim Duncan outfit than LeBron any day.
And honestly, I think this speaks to LeBron James's overall just insecurity. His kind of like, when Michael Jordan was asked if he was the greatest of all time, he gave the real nuanced answer about, well, there's different eras and there's different positions and you can't really figure that out. And then I've seen LeBron answer this question and be like, no, I'm the greatest, and not the greatest of all time, but he meant the greatest right now. But still, it was, and I think it speaks to his overall attitude. And, when you see him hit a clutch shot, he doesn't act like he's done it before. He's so excited. Like, he's just like, it's like the first time he's ever hit one. And
standing up on the box, on the table, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And,
okay, we're good.
Derek's live.
Yep, I actually now figured out how to use this. So.
There we go.
Awesome, man. Glad to have you.
Now the only thing is hoping my connection doesn't turn to a potato like it did. Otherwise, but it seems like it's being stable for now, so.
All right.
Seems like it's working.
Quinn, what were you saying, man? I hate to interrupt you, man.
No. I'm just saying that I think that LeBron James really, even though he's gone better and he's gone more clutch, I still see this like deep insecurity, the media getting to him, and you see this in the weird outfits he was wearing and how much it costs. I mean, it was absurd, like $60,000, I think, for the entire outfit. I mean, and look, we all know LeBron James is a charitable guy. We know that he spends his money to good things, but I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting way. I mean, he wore the same thing. They had the they had the outfit for this game as well. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you just look ridiculous. Like, put on some pants.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Suit shorts, man. They're gonna make a comeback.
Yeah.
I think, like, I can understand the frustration with some people. It's like, just be happy to be there. Like, you don't have to put yourself up on this pedestal.
Yeah.
And I talked to somebody about this earlier today, and they said that, he's got the money, so if he's got the money, he can spend it. And it's like, okay, but that's just not me. I wouldn't do that. I'd be happy wearing this T-shirt, which, Derek, I know you're quite the wrestling connoisseur. You got the CM Punk representing. But
yes. Thank you.
Hey, no problem, man. But I'd be happy with a T-shirt, a nice jacket, and some jeans. That's all I need. That's just me.
Exactly.
But when it comes to the game, I'm really excited to see how J.R. Smith responds. I mean, I want to see, is this guy going to be draining threes? Like, is he going to be 4 for 5 from downtown, or is he going to be 0 for 7? Because I don't think there's any middle ground. I think he's either going to be so hot and he's going to respond well, or he's just going to crumble to all the pressure, all the media that's been going on around him. And honestly, I think a little bit's unwarranted. I think that obviously he made a bad mistake, but no one's talking about George Hill's missed free throw. And that's like, you're paid millions of dollars to put the ball in the hoop. You have no one defending you, right?
All right.
Go for it.
I have to go. Few things real quick, only because, Quinn, you make a great point. And you guys are amazing. Thanks for having me on this show. You guys are the greatest in the future of this, the future of this industry. But let's just start it like this. First off, Michael Jordan was a phenomenal dresser for his time. No one dressed like him back in the day. Mike, Lenny, you're a little young, so you guys didn't see that. I barely saw that. Here we go on to LeBron James. Now, you look at what the dress code is. We forget about there is a dress code in the NBA. That is before the game. That is after the game. One of you, just because my wife is driving, quick shout out, you guys are going to have to Google or Yahoo, whatever you do, what the actual dress code is. But we're talking about the GOAT potentially, regardless of if he is better than Michael Jordan or not. One of these two is the GOAT. He should be allowed to dress however he chooses to dress. Who are we to say
You're
he's
right.
not fashion gurus?
Yeah.
So, with that said, whether he scores, especially if he scores 50 points, he can go out there in a tutu, and we should not say anything. He is phenomenal. And now let's get to what you just said. George Hill. I don't even think about J.R. Smith. Let's talk about George Hill right now. He went 1 of 2 from the line. 95% of the league would go 1 of 2 from the line. In that moment, when you're supposed to lose by 12.5 according to Vegas, but you have a chance to win the game, forget about the pressure situation. Making 1 of 2 is actually the norm. And so everyone is faulting him for doing something that was the norm. And I just disagree with everyone saying he had to make that shot, because making even one, is hard enough. Michael, who's been pretty silent, what do you think on that point?
I just feel like MJ's going to be the GOAT, I think. But the thing about LeBron, there's something about his ego that kind of bugs me. And like what Quinn was saying also, him calling himself the best player in the league. There's a lot of great in the league. And I mean, like, calling yourself the best, I get that you want to have confidence in yourself. But for having this cockiness and calling yourself the best, dressing like you're the best, it's just like, eh. But, also, going off what Quinn was also talking about with J.R. Smith, I feel like there's other people to blame as well. Like George Hill, he brought up too. But let's think about it. George Hill missed the free throw, yes. But it was still a tied game. They still went into overtime. It wasn't like they lost themselves the game. They could have came back and actually won in overtime. So it was kind of a team loss, you know? Yep. It wasn't like one player lost in the game.
My thing is, I just don't know who deserves more of the blame. Like, is it JR or George Hill? Because it seems like the media's picked on JR more, and I think that at the very least they should equally deserve the blame for how the ending of regulation went.
Yeah, I see Derek, you're getting something.
Yeah, especially going off of that, don't forget that George Hill's missed free throw is the exact reason the JR controversy even is happening right now. If George Hill sinks that second free throw in, they wouldn't have sent the ball to JR.
And no one's even talking about the fact that he got the rebound. He's a short guy, like, over all the guys getting it. Like, that was impressive of itself.
Yeah.
Over KD.
Although at the same time, LeBron was...
But I mean, like Jeff said, I mean, imagine if he missed both free throws, then the game definitely would have been over. I mean, for a situation like that, to make one of them and tie the game was I mean, they got into overtime. But if JR did the job right then, possibly could have got fouled on the shot, we could have seen a game winner right there.
That might have been what he was going for right there.
Yeah, the best way I think we could summarize this as it's a team. You win as a team, you lose as a team.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So let's move on to tonight. What do you guys think as far as predictions for tonight's game? You see it being competitive? Do you see Golden State kind of keeping it, playing a little bit better than last night? Or do you think that they're just going to keep being cocky and keep thinking that they're going to win this one even if they play terribly?
I'm seeing a blowout. I think Golden State is just going to hit on all cylinders. They've been playing bad for the past 2 series, and they're still winning, which makes no sense. I mean, they did not play well against Houston. They did not play well in Game 1. So what's going to happen when they actually start playing well? And we know that Klay Thompson, even though he has a little bit of a tweaked ankle, he's in. And he's a fighter. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how him, Steph Curry, KD are going to shoot from behind the arc. I think it's going to be really impressive. But that's just a prediction. They could lose. LeBron is LeBron. And when you put up 51 points, I mean, anything's possible.
I'm going with the Warriors as well. But like Quinn said, it's either going to be a bad outcome for J.R. Smith or a good outcome from J.R. Smith following Game 1. And I mean, That him and Kevin Love are going to be what LeBron needs for this game.
Yeah.
As well as George Hill and Jordan Clarkson.
I also want to just do a quick shout out to Jeff, by the way, and just say that he's just him and SportsMe in general have really brought this whole community together on a whole new level, and we're excited for how this platform's going to grow. And it's not just bringing people together, but it's allowing people to talk about subjects that maybe they wouldn't have thought about when they look through the searches for the hashtags, and they realize, oh, this is actually an interesting topic. Like, I have a new take on this, and it's a cool platform. I'm happy to be a part of it.
And
Great.
Thank you guys.
I was just going to say on top of that, though, too, there's so many people that I've gotten to meet through this app and a lot of friendships that I've formed. And even some people that I didn't even expect to make friends out of it. And some people I thought that I would for sure be enemies. But like you said, Jeff, you put it best in our conversation prior. It's the power of SportsMe. So, and we've talked about it before, the power of sports. So,
well, and guys, I appreciate this. You guys are amazing. You know how I feel about you guys as the future of an industry that will change so dynamically as the fans take over in this new era when everyone talks about the fan experience. Well, that will be the fans actually taking over and being the fans and the athletes together. But it's about building community, and it's about bringing people together, whether you're Red Sox and Yankee fans, whether you're all over the country, all over the world, because we got the World Cup coming out. I don't know if you guys love soccer. I like soccer. I love the World Cup, but I would love to know personally what someone from Brazil thinks about someone from London, thinks about someone from Russia, thinks about someone from Nigeria, and how terrible it is that the U.S. lost. So there's changing the dynamics of leagues and teams and sports, so we don't even care about. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I think that is empowering.
I got a flag, and I got a U.S. flag in the background. I got to break that out real quick.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Once this goes international, it's going to be, and once it hits Android, that's game changer.
I'll be able to use it more often once it gets on Android, for sure.
All right, cool. That's coming. We have a lot more coming for everybody, any platform. Amazing things. When I'm more than happy to tell all you guys some of the things this week, some of the nuances of what we're doing. I think you'll think it's pretty cool. But what's even cooler is how wrong all of you are on tonight's outcome. And here's why. You're talking about the greatest player potentially.
I didn't even say anything.
NBA.
I know Derek saying.
No, Derek, for the rest of you, Lenny and Quinn to start. You guys said that the Warriors are going to blow out the Cavs. Now let's look at it from a different angle. The Cavs have the best player in the world who is angry, maybe to a point we've never seen him this angry. I don't even know what he's capable of. And he just scored 50 points. And forget about J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is completely irrelevant because LeBron doesn't care about what J.R. Smith does in the game. He's angry. He is coming. And Vegas put the line at 12.5. So there's two ways I can look at this. I think the Cavs are going to win. And I also should have put a lot of money on the Cavs to at least cover because there's no way that the Warriors win by 13 or more points.
It'll be by 25, Jeff. Let's just
Oh.
And this is why. Warriors didn't even play that good on Friday, I think it was, and they still, or Thursday, I think it was actually, and they still won the game. Think about that. The Warriors didn't play their best ball. Let me tell you something. After having a bad game and squeaking one by, I bet you 100%. I bet you my life savings. I bet you even my uncle who's watching right now, that the Warriors are going to win by 25.
What? You bet
That is uncle.
You are
You bet your life.
Dude, you are trying to channel your inner LeVar Ball, man.
They called him
Man,
LeVar
you are
Ball.
bold, Michael. You're young bold.
That gets a clap.
But let's be serious. It's in Golden State. They're gonna sweep the Cavs, no doubt about it. The Cavs are good. They got the best player in the world right now. But who else do they have? They have a J.R. Smith who's getting a lot of hate right now. They have a George Hill who couldn't even make a free throw. Even though the whole team is to blame, it's still a lot of things in their mind. And the Warriors still didn't play their best game and still won. So I bet you they play their best game tonight and win by 25.
Derek?
Okay. So I do think Golden State wins, not necessarily by 25 per se, but the thing is I do expect it to be at the very least double digit. And the thing is that if Cleveland wants to avoid getting blown out, every player has to contribute. Here's the thing. LeBron had 51 points. That much is certain. We know that by now. But the thing is, that means the rest of the team scored about, 63 points, if I remember right? If you do the math and think that there's 11 guys outside LeBron on the team, that's 6 points per guy. And it doesn't matter how great of a player LeBron is. If the rest of the team isn't trying to prop him up in some way, it's never going to work. That's been the problem with Cleveland throughout these entire playoffs outside of Toronto series, is that players who were expected to contribute never did, or at least didn't contribute as much as they were expected to. So I think Golden State still wins, but I think for Cleveland to be competitive, they have to get past the game one hurdles. Those are done. That's happened. And go from there. Guys like J.R. Smith and George Hill are probably laser focused right now, especially after game one, and they want to get those mistakes out of the way. Guys like Kevin Love, Kyle Korver, sharpshooters, they need to be on point.
Yeah.
Guys like Thompson and Nance, who are strong on the interior, have to work extra hard to beat the bigs of Golden State, especially Draymond. So I expect it to be at least somewhat competitive, but I expect Golden State to win in the end.
Lenny?
Yeah, I say Golden State by 16 tonight. And I think, like Michael said, they didn't play their best ball out there on Thursday night. And for the Cavs to come that close, I think they're gonna be on their A game and make sure they come out on top by a lot. Warriors by 16.
All right.
Jeff,
Yeah,
I'm sorry you're losing some money tonight.
Jeff, I see you getting a little squirrely down there, but all right.
You go. Please go.
I'll say this. If Golden State can get over themselves tonight, like if they can get over themselves and actually play good basketball, then yeah, I see this game going in their favor. But if they pull off the same stuff that they did the night before, I could see the game being as competitive as it was the night before, and I could see Cleveland sneaking out of this one with a win. So really, I think that it's tough to call because I don't know what Golden State Warriors team we're going to see, but I will side with them on this one for now. But if they come out sloppy and if they come out thinking that they're just going to win no matter what, I could see Cleveland coming out and surprising them tonight.
So. Yeah. Game one was definitely a wake-up call, that's for sure.
Yep. Hopefully for both teams. And JR.
Yeah.
Right.
Should be exciting.
Can we all just agree I was gonna say, can we all just agree that the J.R. Smith memes that have come out on Twitter this week have been amazing? They've been hilarious.
I love the J.R. Smith challenge.
Yeah.
He just runs, he keeps running. Jeff, I think you reposted that on SportsMe Instagram.
No, we did. Yeah, our team did. It's hilarious. But you guys, you have to remember a few things going into this game too, right? You're talking about, forget about LeBron James for a moment. Klay Thompson, can we all agree that he is not 100%? Whatever percent he is, he's not 100%. Do we all agree?
Yeah.
I said that in one of my SportsMe videos, yes.
Okay, yeah, I saw. I gave you points. So, so let's just say, hypothetically, Klay Thompson is semi-injured and he can shoot just as well, but that means he can't get around the picks to get open to make the shots that are easy for him. So then you have a defense that actually did remarkably well against the Warriors. They don't match up terrible because George Hill is a he's a decent, serviceable defensive player who guarded Curry decently well. You look at LeBron James can stop anyone on that team. Kevin Love can stop Draymond Green, who doesn't even look that good. I think we can all agree on that. Something is wrong with Draymond. So,
I mean, he hit some big threes towards the end.
No, he did. He did. But I just look at it from this picture where the Cavs. I think that the Cavs want it more in this game. They had the best player on the court, and one of the best shooters in this game for the other team is not 100%. And when I put all those pieces together, and I hear winning by 25 points, I want to jump out this car window and
God. Oh, don't do that, man. Go right there.
I know.
Well, Jeff,
I just don't see that. I just don't see that happening, guys.
Well, Jeff, if the Warriors don't win by 25, you can have my uncle if you want.
Oh, God.
I would, yes.
Oh, boy.
Ready to live with Jeff Rubin?
This is new.
And he's right there with you, too.
That wouldn't be so bad.
And Jeff, on a side note, I just want to say the more that I Skype with you, the more I see the Adam Sandler resemblance. It is.
Oh God. Oh God. That's for another day.
Now the question is, which Adam Sandler are we getting? Are we getting Longest Yard Adam Sandler? We're getting Waterboy Adam Sandler? Happy Gilmore?
Happy!
Oh dear Lord.
Longest Yard was a good sports movie.
It was. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it was.
It ain't good.
There being cheesy.
Should we move on to the NHL because I want to get this started?
Of course you do.
Derek,
of course you do.
Ooh, all caps, baby. All caps.
That game is horrible.
And I just want to let you know.
For me, anyway.
I can't put that away.
I was in DC. I'm in DC right now, but I was in the district. I was hopping around sports bars last night, and the city was going nuts. I mean, everyone was rocking the red. Everyone was just going insane. Every goal was another chance to do a shot. And when we won, it was electric. And I'm just gonna say this as a DC fan, we need this. It is that we have gone through such a drought of championships. It has been since 1992. It's been since 1998 since the Capitals have even been to a finals, and we didn't win that. So we are desperate for a championship, and it's looking good right now, up 2-1. We have game 4 tomorrow, and check me out on Instagram Live. I will be interviewing people outside the arena right before the game starts, and we'll see what the fans think. Maybe Jeff might give me a little shout-out on SportsMe before that, possibly.
You got it.
And, it should be exciting. I mean, I think, and not just for DC fans, but I think all hockey fans want Ovechkin to have a championship on his belt. That's just, we know that he's objectively top 5 player of all time by the stats, and he just needs that championship ring to be able to put it all together, to have that real career that he deserves. He needs that accolade on his career resume. And so I'm excited as a DC fan. Derek, I know you're a Knights fan. I know this hurts for you, but
don't worry about it.
But you guys have plenty of years to be good. You're a new team.
That's true.
This is our window of time, and you guys have lots of years to make playoff runs. We have a couple more years left, if that. So this is our time to really make the most of our moment.
I think more people want Vegas to win, actually, based on from what I've heard. I think people want the franchise team to win this series.
Mm-hmm. You're going by Vegas odds, of course.
I mean.
Oh, man. Derek, respond, my friend. Go for it.
All right. So the thing is, we can all agree that Ovi's a great player. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame. Be regarded as one of the best players of all time, regardless of if the Capitals win the cup or not. That's for certain. We can all agree on that, right?
Yeah, of course.
So the thing is, what I've noticed, especially during this game, that was made clear to me, is that the Golden Knights, this was the worst game they've played throughout these entire playoffs.
Yeah.
Forget the shutout of Game 3. The goal that they got off of Holtby was a giveaway. For all intents and purposes, it should have been a shutout. And to be honest, the Capitals probably should have been disappointed they didn't score more, to be honest. Like, it was bad. But the thing that I noticed is that the Knights weren't aggressive. That's the thing. Like, the sets they played were 2 defensemen in the back and 3 players, like, on the ice, but no one was up in front. Yeah. And they were shooting at Capitals defenders. The Capitals had, like, 30-something blocked shots, I think, or at least close to 30. There were, like, 3 or 4 shots that hit the goalpost. It was just nuts. Shea Theodore gave up 2 goals, and I think I saw something that said today he was actually skating with the extra guys, so I'm not sure if that means anything. If that's to light a fire under him, or if it means that he's going to get a game off to cool his head or something. I don't know. He's a young guy, talented guy, but it seems like the playoffs might be getting to him a little bit. I don't really know. So if the Golden Knights want to come back, and they have to start this, I think, now, they have to find that aggressiveness back. You are not going to be more physical than Washington. That's for certain. With guys like Wilson, Smith, Pelly, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
So how do you beat a physical team? You wear them down. You try and outskate them. You get aggressive offensively instead of defensively like they've been trying to do. And that means not looking for the perfect shot, because at this stage, the perfect shot's probably not going to show up. Vegas has tried that the past 2 games, and look where it's gotten.
And when you had the perfect shot, we had the save.
Yeah, that's for sure. Luck does come into play in that. That's for certain.
Oh, that was the hockey gods.
Hockey gods. That's for certain. So what I think I'm trying to go with here is that at this stage, you don't exactly go for a perfect shot. Like, Ovechkin's goal in Game 2 was clean, perfect. They left him open. Game 3 was actually a very good goal by him, waiting for his chance, got the goal, found the puck, put it in the net like he normally does. That's what Vegas needs to do right there.
Yeah.
They need to get guys in the front of the net, fight for every puck, and make sure that they can get their goal-scoring opportunities, because it hasn't happened yet. And if it's not going to happen soon, I don't know if it's going to happen. And the thing is, Marc-Andre Fleury's been great this playoff. This series hasn't been so much his greatest. But the thing is, he can't do things on his own. He cannot get overly aggressive like he has, to the point where he flies out of the net and ends up giving them an open shot. Because, to be honest, Game 1, that should have gone to overtime. Lars Eller had the shot perfectly, and he just ended up off on the timing. It should have gone to overtime, just like Game 2, really.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if the Golden Knights want to win, the defense has to tighten up to ensure that Fleury isn't relied upon so much. And the offense just quite simply needs to be more aggressive. They need to find that goal-scoring touch, the first line especially, because they've been shut out, I think, throughout this entire play, or at least the past 2 games. They need to refine that aggressiveness. Otherwise, the Capitals are going to win Game 4. They're going to go back on the road 3-1 with all the momentum on their side. My personal belief is that if Game 4 goes anything like Game 3, the Capitals are winning in 5.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. But if the Golden Knights win Game 4, if they refine that aggressiveness that got them through the Kings, Sharks, and the Jets, especially the Jets, who are expected to be in this position right now, if they can find that scoring touch, then it's anyone's series again.
Do we have any predictions from anyone else? Predictions on Game 4?
I've been saying this for the whole Stanley Cup before it even started. I said Vegas was going to win in Game 1 and Game 4 to make it 2-2. So I've been saying this, it'll be 2-1 Capitals, and it has been. And Vegas will win Game 5 and 7 as well in a 7-game series. Vegas wins the Cup. And so far, it's been the same thing I've been saying, so I'm sticking to it. But the thing is, goalies. You got Andre Fleury, a great goalie who's had great reputation in the Stanley Cup in the last few years. Then you got Braden Holtby, who's been a god for at least since the Lightning series. The last two games versus the Lightning were just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then he's shown up also versus Golden Knights. So he's just red hot. So I feel like whoever plays the goalie position better will end up winning it.
Yeah, totally agree.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I
agree to that. Just
I'm losing you.
Oh, Jeff.
quick. I think.
Jeff, you're cutting out for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I was thinking I was going to have a bad connection. Wait, is my connection bad? I don't know.
Now, there you go.
The Golden Knights need to
All
go
right, we're
back to
back.
gold.
Maybe.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, maybe.
It was a little too early, Quinn.
Am I back?
Did we jinx it?
Am I back?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Am I back?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yes, you're back.
Yeah, I think so.
All
I
right.
think so.
Second chance. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you all heard me say I agree with Derek. The Golden Knights need to get back to gold.
You're out
We were
again.
so close.
We need a third chance.
Third
Must be the
time's a charm.
connection
Let's
in here.
go.
Where are you driving?
Yeah.
Hockey.
Do you have that 4G
Don't
LTE?
cater to the Washington Capitals style of play.
Oh, man. This is really bad.
Uh,
I think he's got
We
it.
need the dude from the Verizon commercials to just come in and say, hey, here's the
You
new
guys hear me?
network.
I live in New Hampshire.
Oh, man.
Hello? Hello?
All
I
right.
can
Break
hear you, I think. Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you
I-
hear me?
Yeah.
I kind of don't
You're
want to
good.
say anything to not jinx it.
Oh.
And then I jinx it anyway.
Let me know when you can hear me.
All right. Dang. We are glitching big time. Or Jeff is glitching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who else has a prediction for tonight and the rest of the series?
Brandon?
I mean, I heard you guys mention the Lightning, so I just
All right.
wrote it out just because. But I'm
Can
not.
you hear me?
Yeah.
For now, Jeff.
Yeah, for now.
I will say that I think that this game for Vegas will serve as a rebound game for them. I think that they will come out a lot hungrier, a lot more intense, and I think Fleury has a better game. And I see them even if they're up, especially because I got this game in 7. So I've got the Vegas Golden Knights, coming back in this one, winning this one. And you guys ever seen Wild Hogs before?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the part at the end where he's like, "Holy crap, it's the Golden Knight!" That's what I see happening.
Hey.
So I got you, Derek. I got you guys evening out the series.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I do too, Derek. I think.
You guys hear me?
Oh yeah, I think we're.
Maybe.
I think.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The video's a little
Yes.
choppy.
Back.
Video's a
Okay,
little weird,
sorry.
but the audio's good.
I live. Am I good now?
Audio.
Audio's good.
Video's a little picture choppy.
Yeah,
Yep.
video's off, but audio's fine.
All right, you guys talk. I'll be in my house in like 1 minute.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
So Lenny, your take.
All right. So I think, like you guys said, Marc-Andre Fleury, one of the best. And I think against Braden Holtby, it's an even series goalie-wise. And when you say Derek said, Marc-Andre Fleury cannot do it on his own. And I think that's like the situation with LeBron James. He can't do that on his own as well, but that's a whole different story.
Oh man.
But they got to play the defense they have earlier in the playoffs, and reignite in them and win Game 4 tomorrow night, and get the spark in them again. Because game 1 was a little shaky on defense as well, but they still put up the numbers on offense to take the win, and that's why they're not down 3-0 right now. But yeah, I think they can come out with a win tomorrow night.
This game was definitely a wake-up call in my mind.
Man, am
I the problems?
Am I the only one that's predicting the Caps to win Game 4 at home?
Yeah.
Where everyone's rocking the red?
I mean, I'd expect it with that shirt on it.
Quinn, it's nothing personal, man. It's nothing personal. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm completely unbiased in who I'm picking, but
yeah.
Can you guys hear me now? At this stage, so.
I think the Caps, no matter what, are winning in 6. I think they're going to come out strong. Ovechkin deserves this. I'll admit it as a Penguins fan. As much as I don't like the Capitals, Ovechkin deserves this, and I think they're still coming out in 6.
We can all agree that Ovechkin deserves a championship at least at some point, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
Yes.
That's
1,000 times, yes.
all right.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back?
We got you.
I think so.
Good. Yeah, we got you now, Jeff.
Can you see me?
A little.
Yeah,
a little choppy.
You're good?
A little blurry, but
A
yeah.
little choppy, but it's fine. Two.
All right, there we go. We're good. 3.
Really? Damn. All right. But you can hear me okay? You can kind of see me?
Yeah.
Kind of for both, yeah.
It's all good.
It's a little choppy, but yeah, it's all good. Like Lenny said.
I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
Am I good?
I think so.
Should I sign out and then sign back in?
Is that possible?
Sure.
I mean, maybe.
We could give it a shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
that's
it.
what I did.
Do it. I
think
can
that's
do
what I
it.
did or something. Like,
Yeah.
it exited the call for me when I was trying to get better connection or something. Or at least trying to figure out what to do. Because I didn't do a practice run before. Yay!
All right. So Jeff, go ahead and give it a shot. We'll try to.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I can add you back if need be.
All right.
He probably.
Jeff
Yeah.
is
So
left.
we'll see what happens.
So I'll add him back.
Oh, cool. So Lenny, now I got you on the 4th square. You are now
Yeah,
4th
me too.
square. You are all on the 4 squares. All right.
Seems like
What's
Jeff's
up,
back
Jeff?
up, so it seems okay.
What's up? Am I back?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're back.
All right.
Back. At least
All right. Let's do this. Sorry, guys. Take 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it is.
Much better.
What are we still talking about the Vegas Golden Knights?
Predictions.
Yeah.
Your predictions.
All right, let's do this. Derek's about to be a happy, happy man. So not only do I agree with everything that Derek said for obvious reasons, the Golden Knights need to stick to Golden Knights hockey. Don't cater to the norm. Don't cater to what everyone else thinks they should do and change their DNA as a team. Do what you do. Play your hockey. Let Carlson be Carlson. Let these guys don't look for that opportune goal. Be aggressive. Be fast. Be spontaneous on the ice. Do what you need to do. In my prediction, Golden Knights win Game 4. Golden Knights win the series. The world is happy.
Everyone but Quinn.
Everyone except for Quinn.
Everybody but
Oh,
Quinn.
my
And
God.
Washington, D.C.
And Ovechkin fans everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, I still got the Cavs winning in 6. So
Just
All right.
remember, guys,
I'm
I've
saying
been
they're gonna
saying
lose tomorrow
this
night.
whole
I
time.
would say they're tomorrow night and they win the
Vegas is
series.
1, 4, 5, and 7. Been saying it for the whole time, and it's still gonna happen.
Quinn, I still got him in 7. I still got you guys in 7.
Yeah, I got us in
Yeah.
5. I think we're going to win this next one, and we're going to have all the momentum going into Vegas. Just like Derek said, if we win this next one, we're going to win in 5. And that's what's going to happen.
Only
Or at
thing
least
I
if
don't.
it's
We're
anything like
hungrier. We are
If it's anything
hungrier.
like Game 3, then yeah.
Sure.
Only thing I don't see like what Brandon said about them winning in 7. I'm just not sure if they can win in 7 in Vegas with those fans. Those Vegas fans are gonna go crazy. I bet you. It'll be hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. It just will be hard.
Yeah, I will tell you this right now. I've been to a game in each of the series. Game 2 against the Kings when they went into double overtime. Game 1 with the blowout in San Jose. And I think Game 4 against Winnipeg. In all the big moments of that game, that crowd went absolutely insane. And I know a lot of people have a problem with the little theatrical performance they have. But at the same time, my idea with it is, does it hype up the crowd? Does it get the opposing team off their game a little bit, gets in their heads a little bit that this is a Vegas-style performance? If it checks off all the boxes, then it's done its job for me.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't
I don't have a problem with it.
So, yeah. I see what you mean.
Well, if you guys are using that argument that the home crowd plays such a big factor, I mean, the DC home crowd is just as excited, if not more, and yet you all are predicting that the Vegas Knights are going to win tomorrow. So you're completely negating that argument for your sake for next game, but you're using it for you guys if the possible Game 7 happens. So
I think the only difference maker is a Game 7. I feel like the Game 7 being the final game is a huge difference maker in the crowd going crazy.
I never said they'd have trouble winning on the road. I just picked it for dramatical purposes. I just feel like it's gonna be that kind of series.
Yeah.
I'm saying Caps are gonna win in DC in 6 come Game 6.
I'm saying Golden Knights in 7. It's gonna be a competitive series throughout, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm saying Golden Knights in 7.
Caps in 7.
I'm saying Caps in 5. But now that we've talked about hockey and we've all just decided, I think it was either today or yesterday, that we're all going to do a fantasy football team together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to give away any secrets or anything, but what are we looking at with football? Any fans of any particular teams want to... Brandon, you have any Buck info for us?
Well, I'll just say this. If any of you guys drafted any of my Buccaneers, I'm going to come after all of you.
Don't worry about that. Do not worry about that.
I could trade you then.
Don't draft any Bucks players. Got it.
I'm good. I'm out.
The Bucks
I'm
good.
good.
I don't care.
Why, Brandon, you don't like to win fantasy football?
Okay. I like to be loyal, okay? I don't like to cheat on my team. I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm in it win or lose.
I got a good
don't
story for you guys.
Yeah.
So, back in, I think the 7th grade, I'm a huge Seahawks fan. So, I was in the championship, right? And my whole team for the championship game was all Seahawks players. My dad was calling me crazy, and I'm like, he's like, if the Seahawks don't win, you got no chance. And I'm like, yeah, probably. And it was the year the 49ers, it might have been the year they made the Super Bowl against the Ravens. And they were playing the 49ers. And the Seahawks won 49-7. And, Russell Wilson gave me 40 points. Marshawn Lynch, 30 points. Doug Baldwin, 20 points. It was crazy game, a blowout. And I won the fantasy football championship. So I'm loyal to my team too, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm loyal to stats.
That's for sure.
And and that's why I'm usually in the playoffs. I'm in the playoffs every year. I made it. Yeah. I made it to the finals last year. I lost after putting up 150 points to a guy who put up 165.
Wow.
He had Todd Gurley.
Bad luck.
He had Todd Gurley in that game, and that's just that was brutal.
That happened to me this past year too. I lost my league by 10 in the championship because he had Todd Gurley and he scored 60 points. Todd Gurley went crazy that week.
Hey,
my bad.
No, I was I'm just gonna say this, and this is not the most popular opinion amongst Redskins fans. But I am ready for a complete, fresh, new start. I am not loyal to the name. If they want to change the name because the name is considered racist in today's society, I'm all for that. If they want to get rid of Dan Snyder, not just for being a bad owner, but for what he's allowed to happen with the Redskins cheerleaders on that trip, if you guys are familiar with the scandal that happened, where they made the cheerleaders essentially escorts.
Yeah.
And then, you guys should look it up. It's a really, really interesting story. But
I did. It was bad.
It was bad. And and I think they should get out of Landover, Maryland. It's so far away from DC. The only reason that they're not playing in DC is because the mayor of DC doesn't want a name that's racist in their city playing. And so, you guys are familiar with The Replacements, right? The movie, Shane Falco. Am I the only one?
Orlando Jones.
Absolutely. And in that movie, it was the Washington team, and they called them the Sentinels to get rid of copyright issues. I'd be fine if they changed it to the Sentinels. All that matters is that you're rooting for your home team. The name, the owner, where the field is located, that's all secondary. All that matters is that you're rooting for the team that you grew up in, or that you have your father or your someone who has introduced you to that team at a young age, that you stay loyal to the city, right?
Please.
So I know a lot of Redskins fans might get on me about this, and they're going to give me that hail to the Redskins and how are we going to change the song or the acronym or whatever. But, I'm sick of controversy. I'm sick of our Dan Snyder curse. I'm ready for a fresh start. I'm happy with what we made on the offseason. I think Alex Smith is a good quarterback. He's been to the playoffs 6 out of the last 7 years. He had the best passer rating for deep balls, and a lot of his in the league, and a lot of his character traits before that were saying that he was just a dip and dunk type quarterback. All he did was game manage. But I think last year he showed that he could do a lot more than that. So I'm excited to see what the Redskins can do. But at the same time, as long as we have Dan Snyder as our owner, man, it's hard to be optimistic.
Yeah, but Quinn, you're not telling any of us anything that we don't know. Everyone knows the Redskins need to literally turn around every single thing in their organization. So I actually feel for you as a Patriots fan. I hope your team gets better. I hope that Dan Snyder becomes a better owner. I hope that he actually sells a team to someone who will not make rash decisions by himself.
By the way, Jeff, I can only see the bottom half of your face.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Jesus. I only see your logo, so...
There we go.
Okay.
That's better.
Are we good now?
We're perfect.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
But you could hear me trashing on the Redskins.
Yeah, we get it. You're a
Pretty much,
Patriots
yeah.
fan, and
So we know the Redskins have a lot of work to do. We put up a topic on SportsMe that we might as well talk about. It didn't get a lot of action, which wasn't surprising. I read a couple articles on how the Redskins are drafting any and all Alabama secondary players that they can because Nick Saban. Tell me more about this. And has anyone heard about this? What does everyone think about this?
Well,
they're still a bad team.
It's not secondary. It's more D linemen. We've been drafting D linemen.
Yeah, guys like
Jonathan Allen.
Last year, Deron Payne this year.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
So, and Jonathan Allen was doing really well until he got injured, and now he's going to be back and he's going to be healthy. And we had the worst run stop defense in the NFL last year, so clogging up that hole with Deron Payne, I think will really at least give our cornerbacks and our safeties a little bit more breathing room.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I was going to say real quick, in football, it all starts up front. How you get a push from your line?
Yeah.
If it's your offense pushing the line of scrimmage, or if it's
Speaking of which,
oh man, he's got the target. Oh shoot.
Yep, San Diego. Too.
That's San Diego is my
tell
sleeper
how long
team,
that's been.
or the Chargers. Well, the Chargers are my sleeper team. I think they might make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they're going to make the playoffs. Could possibly make some noise if everyone's healthy.
Are you guys watching this game?
Yeah.
Is anybody watching the NBA game right now?
No, it's nuts. The Warriors are blowing them out, just like I predicted.
Wait, they're not.
I am not.
Is anybody watching? LeBron James just
should I be changing it or no?
triple twisted two guys. Just literally pull one of the greatest moves I've ever seen.
Sec. Oh, I haven't even turned
It'll
it
be
on.
on ESPN. I'll be able to watch it later.
Just remember, it's still gonna be by 25, Jeff.
No, my bad. Go back to football. I just real quick wanted to say that.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I'm just getting it on real quick.
So let's bring this back.
At least
real
I
quick.
know whatever
I'm just saying
about.
ESPN always posts about LeBron, so we'll be seeing it later.
All right,
on
so
Facebook.
we're talking about football.
Yep.
We should probably talk about betting football or fantasy football because those are so much cooler than the actual games. Who are you guys taking as the first 5 picks in your any fantasy football draft?
Ooh, I don't know if I want to give away.
Go top 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'm good.
The guy I think coming out of injury, Deshaun Watson, he can be a big factor in quarterback position. We'll see.
I think we can all say that the 2 guys in Pittsburgh are always going to be top 5 picks. Bell and Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's warranted.
Other than that, I'm not going to give anything away.
Yeah, other than that,
No
Here
secret.
is my top 5.
Jeff is trying to extract some information to win.
No, because
Jeff's going to have the draft in front of me.
Yeah.
He's going to be pick 5. I'm going to be pick 6, and he's going to know exactly who I'm going for.
I'll be the last guy to go, just
He's
so that
gonna
way we
pick
can
6
get everything out of the
too.
way.
wait, Michael, what were you gonna say?
So, I'm a nice guy, so I'll give you my top 5 right now, just to be nice to you. Gotta give you guys a little chance how good I'm a fantasy football player. 5-time champion in the last 7 years. So, let's just say number 1, I'll get Todd Gurley. Number 2, Le'Veon Bell. Number 3, Antonio Brown. Number 4, Ezekiel Elliott. And number 5 might be a shocker, but just how well he played in the first half of the season, watch out for DeAndre Hopkins.
Sweet.
He had Deshaun Watson with him, so that's...
Yeah, but he's going to have Deshaun Watson with him
we'll have a healthy
again next
Deshaun Watson.
season.
Is he healthy?
It's going to be a beast.
All right,
I
did you guys get all that down? Because he just basically did what the Magic did a few years ago. Blew it all up.
No. First off, you don't even know if you're going PPR. You don't even know if you're going
PPR.
Whatever it is. There are lots of different ways that you can look at it. Some of us like quarterback-heavy leagues. Some of us go running back. Some of us have different strategies.
You're going to get Tom Brady.
You're going to pick Tom Brady in the first round, and we're going to laugh.
Yeah, we know this by now.
Yes.
Is this common knowledge?
The quarterback in the last year I got Deshaun Watson in free agency. Last year I picked Phillip Rivers in the 14th round. I was fine without a quarterback and down anyways.
Yeah.
I had Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson going into the beginning of the season, and they both got hurt. And I had Jared Goff after that.
I had sophomore year Derek Carr in the late rounds one year, so he was pretty good that year.
We should talk about Alvin Kamara because, man, that guy came out of nowhere. And with Ingram being suspended, I expect him to get a lot more touches, and I think he might be in the top 5 at least.
Yeah.
Definitely
You
top
would
10.
put Alvin Kamara in the top 5.
At least top 10.
You want to know
Especially
something?
with Mark Ingram being gone the first 4 weeks.
You want to know something, guys? These running backs always have. There's a bunch of running backs who have great rookie seasons. Remember Todd Gurley's rookie season, and then he had a sophomore slump, and then came back his 3rd year. I actually expect Alvin Kamara to have a sophomore slump. That's my bold prediction.
That's a bold
What about
prediction.
Kareem Hunt?
Yeah.
Don't forget about that guy, too.
And David Johnson. He's back and healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He would actually probably be number 5.
He was the number 1 pick in everyone's draft last year.
Yeah.
Thank God I had number 2 and picked Le'Veon Bell.
No, last year I got so lucky in one of my leagues. I got Le'Veon Bell at number 4 because everyone was nervous because of him holding out. And they were like, oh my, we gotta get. And someone picked like Tom Brady, and I was laughing. And then David Johnson, like everyone expected. And then Antonio Brown, and I'm like, sitting at number 4, I'm like, geez, I was expecting to pick like, I don't know.
Julio Jones.
Yeah, I was wanting LaShawn McCoy, I remember. And I'm like, Le'Veon Bell's there. Gotta pick Le'Veon Bell. And worked out.
I got a question, all right? Because we keep talking about, like, our favorite fantasy players, like who we're going to get. What do you guys think, though, as far as, like, who would be the first rookie or your main rookie that you would take on fantasy football?
I might be biased, but
I go Bradley Chubb on that one. Or wait, no, that's defense.
Saquon.
If they had a defense.
Saquon
Barkley's up there.
Saquon easy.
But I think that Darius Geis is going to really surprise people. He's going to take that number 1 spot for the Redskins, and he's really, I mean, this guy is the new Marshawn Lynch. I've seen all his tapes in college, and this guy is the real deal. No one in the draft runs angrier than he does. Guy can cut like none other. He can cut like LaShawn McCoy in his prime, and he bulldozes over linebackers. So I've been really impressed with how Darius Geis runs. I mean, he runs angry, and that's the kind of runner that I like.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a defense,
I'm actually excited for Rashad Penny for the Seahawks. I might be biased with the Seahawks, but he runs hard as well. I think we drafted him too early, but he can actually have. We have like 2 running backs in Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, a 1-2 punch, and I'd like to take Rashad Penny maybe 8th round, possibly.
We'll see how your O-line holds up, though.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I think what's interesting about that, though, is that Chris Carson went down early at the beginning of last season when he was doing great. So, and I'm not sure how that injury is going to affect him. So Penny might end up getting the lion's share of the touches by the time the season's done.
Yeah. I think I'd be expecting a wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I was gonna call that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My rookie sleeper right there.
Yep. Because when you have a pass happy offense like the Falcons, and you have guys double teaming Julio, Ridley is basically a slightly smaller version of Julio Jones. Both came from Bama. Both are big play receivers, and you're in a big play offense. So I could see him working opposite of Julio, even if you want to put him on the same side and have Ridley play the slot and split the middle. But I also think, though, too, if we're going to stick to running backs as well, that seems to be a theme. Ronald Jones out of Tampa. The guy's a big play running back. Again, not that I'm biased. But, big play back, came out of USC. He's electric on he can run in between. He can run outside. He should be a good all-around back. And plus, without Doug Martin there, who's really going to be his competition? Peyton Barber? Jacquizz Rodgers? Charles Sims?
No, it's a good pick.
That's true.
So, Jeff, you got any hot takes on rookies?
I'm going Saquon Barkley because he's the man, and I think that
as a Pats fan, you're gonna say that?
Oh man,
I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
Come on, I mean I think he's the real deal. We'll see, but I've never been really bullish on rookie guys in fantasy football. I think Gurley was like the only guy.
Yeah.
And I don't draft rookies. That's just my thing.
I don't know. Ezekiel Elliott was pretty good his rookie year.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of scared of
Deshaun Watson to start.
Rookie year just because I didn't know.
Until Watson got hurt.
But there's a lot of room for error. And I think when it comes to fantasy football, if you mess up one of those first 4 picks, you're done. You're done.
You're done.
And unless you get lucky and you draft a Kamara, not draft a Kamara, you pick him up on the waiver wire. I mean, think about it. you need to get lucky, and I don't have that kind of time to scour the waiver wire or get lucky enough thinking one of 11 people won't pick a guy that I need who also doesn't see someone like Kamara skyrocket up the free agent list. That's a lot of risk. You can't just say, oh, I'll just pick someone else who's doing well in the regular season because someone else is going to take him. So I'd rather just not draft rookies, and that's always worked.
At least in the first round. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. That's why I was so scared of drafting Z.
So, what is your guys' number one defense for fantasy football this year?
Well, I played with defensive
Rams.
players last year. So we for the first time in my other league, we did you could have 2 defensive players. And that was really interesting. It was the first time I've done that. And it really kind of opened up the game in a different way. But man, the Rams right now, it's hard not to look at what they've done and just be like, man, they're the defense to beat.
Yep, they're the easy pick.
What about Jags?
That's another great one.
Are we still forgetting
Jags
about
are my
Jaguars?
1A, Rams are my 1B.
Like, the Jaguars' defense did so unbelievable. I had them in my league. They had a 40-point game for me. They had, like, a touchdown, 2 touchdowns.
That was against the Ravens.
2 interceptions, 10 sacks. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that would be my number one defense no matter what.
That was against the Ravens.
And then when they played Big Ben in Pittsburgh, he threw 5 interceptions against them and talked about retiring because of it.
And now, after Mason Rudolph went on, he's like, oh, I got 5 more years, guys. Yeah. Shut up,
Amazing
Big
what
Ben.
happens when your spot's in danger.
Yep. Big Ben. Mason Rudolph will be great. I'm a huge Oklahoma State fan, and I actually watched him in the West Virginia game. We went there. It was a rainy day. Wasn't his best game, but he still amazed me, like reading the defenses, play calling, and then also on TV I watched him every game, and like averaging like 340 yards. Like, that's unbelievable. And then it wasn't even like they just passed the whole game. They also rushed for like 200 yards a game.
Mm-hmm.
It was so he was a good player. I mean, he's gonna be good.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go ahead and take my shot then at it. I mean, I like both of those picks with LA and Jacksonville because obviously both. Jacksonville was like one of the best defenses last year. LA has retooled so much. I mean, there's a part of me, like, when you mentioned the 2 defensive players, I mean, I immediately thought of Levante David and Joe McCoy. I mean, again, I know it's the Bucs, but those 2 together as a linebacker defensive tackle combo reminds me a lot of Brooks and Sapp from back in the 2000s. But no, I think I will say this regarding for the Bucs defense. I think that the fact that they've retooled a lot of their front 7, we'll probably see a lot more sacks. I'm not sure about as many picks. I know their secondary. They got Carlton Davis in the draft, so that could be something. But I think you'll see with the Bucs, there's a lot more sacks. And I think that they could possibly be a sleeper team.
Yeah.
That's sleeper D.
And I hate saying this because my team's in the NFC East. But when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles defense, led by Fletcher Cox, I mean, that's a defense that just knows how to score. And I don't like that. I'm not a fan of the Eagles. I can't believe I'm saying this, but man, their defense is scary for a team that has to play them twice. I don't look forward to it.
The only question I think about that's the secondary. But D-line's good. We know that by now. But the secondary, they lost Patrick Robinson. And now, for the most part, it seems like they're relying around rookie or sophomore corners.
Don't they still have Malcolm Butler? Or am I?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so, though.
Anyways,
then disregard if
the Eagles' defense.
The point stands.
Yeah, they lost a bunch of key guys.
Yeah. So I think that's.
And they were supposed to get Michael Bennett, but no, they don't have them. Gio has them right now. So.
Oh man,
Michael Bennett. The Bennett brothers are the most interesting players in the NFL right now.
Yeah. You either love him or you hate him, and there's pretty much no in between.
I'll be honest. I lobbied for him so hard with McCoy to bring him back to Tampa, but now after the Chargers, I was like, you know what? I'll take Pierre-Paul.
Hands off. Quite literally, hands off.
Yeah.
I'm happy
Pierre-Paul with the bad hand.
No pun intended.
Got rid of him. Money with them, you know.
Low blow, man. Low blow, but it was good.
I didn't even mean to do that, but I was like, oh, wait. Stop.
Oh, man, that was good stuff. So, all right, so we've kind of went through a lot of these topics. I mean, I think we discussed maybe trying to go into baseball, or I think or did we discuss the were we going to discuss the anthem, or
we can discuss
the
anthem.
About it.
And then we
talked
can go
about
with
it a little
baseball.
bit in our conversation. I know that much.
Well, I think the first thing that we have to say
baseball.
about it is that when you look at the NBA, they've already had this policy in place. And so we can't say that the policy in and of itself is wrong or gets rid of your constitutional right for free speech, because we know that these are employees working, and they are on the clock, right? So the owners have every right to make this policy. I do think it was bad timing. I think making that policy only drew more controversy up, and I think that the way they explicitly did it, I thought organically it would die out. I think the idea of Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed being blackballed would essentially deter any more protests, and I don't think they necessarily needed the policy in place. I think that kind of just put gasoline on the flame, in my opinion. But honestly, I think I feel like the media a lot tries to divide us apart, whether it's red and blue, left or right, liberal, conservative. And I don't think that any of the meaning behind the protest was about racial injustice, but then it got turned into a thing about patriotism, and now it's about who's patriotic and who's not. And I think the main thing for us to do is to stay quote unquote woke and look at both sides of the media and see, like, how are they trying to spin this? How are they trying to get more views? How are they trying to divide people more? And let's stay on topic. And no one wants to disrespect soldiers. No athletes are trying to disrespect soldiers. But when the narrative shifts like that, people get offended, and it becomes a controversy and it becomes a red herring where people try to go in different directions. Yeah. So, I don't think the policy itself is wrong, but I do think the timing of it and how they propagated it did kind of put gasoline on the flames.
Yeah.
Lenny, you go.
All right. So call it a sport or not, but NASCAR, nobody in there is definitely not going to do it. NHL, you don't hear about it. MLB, you heard about one of the Oakland Athletics players doing it last season. Other than that,
J.T. Brown did the Black Power test, and that was it. That was the one.
Other than that, you haven't heard anything else. And same with basketball. I feel like football is doing it for the media to keep putting it out there, because I mean it's gone for a year or two now, and
it'll be 2 years.
Any publicity is good publicity as long as you get the name right.
Yeah, I mean we can see that with LeVar Ball. We can see that with Conor McGregor. If and think about how much free media Donald Trump got in the primaries. So you can, any publicity is good publicity, and we know that as a marketing standpoint now. LeVar Ball would not be on SportsCenter if he wasn't saying ridiculous stuff, and now Big Baller Brand is actually worth like a lot of money as a company, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. So my take on this anthem stuff, I like to see the athletes stand for the national anthem. I can see, though, like, what their goal is. Like, I'm not going after their goal at all. I just feel like there might be a better way of doing things, you know? Like, I'm not going to point fingers and say they're wrong for doing it. I just say there might be another way of doing things, like doing charity work, and like what Quinn said, that the athletes aren't trying to be disrespectful to the soldiers, and I don't think that either. I feel like no one wants to be disrespectful, but it kind of sometimes comes across as disrespectful, and I just feel like if you find another way of doing it instead of doing it on the football field during the national anthem, maybe before the national anthem, do like a thing to make a stand instead of like literally during the national anthem. I feel like the Cowboys. I know how many people hate the Cowboys, but the way they did it was pretty good. Like Jerry Jones had them go take a kneel before the national anthem the week that everyone was protesting, and then they stood for the national anthem, and I felt like that was a pretty strong way of doing it. I just feel like there might be other ways of making it better for everyone. Not gonna point fingers though. I'm not in their situation, so I can't say what's right and wrong. I just can say.
Yeah. I think when it comes down to it, like when you're not willing to hear other people out, that's when the conversations become bad. I think that's what we kind of need to steer it back towards, like letting everybody have a say. But at the same time, though, I do understand that there is a time and place for everything. And I think we can all agree, like when we watch sports, we're there to see a game played by the best athletes in the world.
Right.
We don't want to bring in politics because that's going to take away from the sports. And, you know, like Quinn, you mentioned, the NBA has a policy on that, and nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
So I think that if the NFL and the MLB and the NBA and NHL, everyone could just, if every sports company can unite in a sense and say, you know what, this is just our policy. If you want to talk outside of it, cool. But, you know, I think that could be something. But, yeah, like, let's just get away from the politics for 3 hours. Let's watch some games. And then after that, yeah, let's have an honest discussion about the problems that are going on and move on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah.
And like I said, the NHL.
Go
ahead. All right. So like I said about the NHL and the MLB, very, very few of them do it, but yet they don't make it as big as a thing as the NFL does. And the NFL is using it for controversy and publicity, like you guys said.
Well, ratings have been down so much. Like, they've been down a whole lot, so they're probably using, like you said, Derek, cheap or any publicity, good publicity.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, well.
I haven't heard Jeff in a while, so what's your take, Jeff?
Yeah.
You know, as I'm watching the Cleveland Cavaliers not lose by 25, I think about
Thinly veiled jab coming from Jeff Rubin.
I think about it's been a pretty good game.
Jeff, I can still only see the bottom half of you.
Yeah,
really?
Me too.
Yeah.
Can
There
you
you
see
go.
me now?
Perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, Jordan Clarkson should never ever shoot again. So, you know, look, a very subjective thing that's been happening. I think everyone has different thoughts. Some people are offended. Some people are not offended. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can.
My screen says poor network connection, so I don't know. So,
that was mine at first, too.
Okay, so
that was fine.
Some people say they're offended. Some people are not offended. Jerry Jones makes himself out to be the hero when really he is not. And, you know, I look at it and I say, what happened to sports? What happened to sports? Why can't we talk about the fantasy, the betting, the players, the SportsMes, the guys, the ESPNs, the reasons we love sports, and the politics has now been ingrained into the DNA and the culture of sports. And not going to lie to you, CEO of a company that we believe, that you guys believe, that the CEO of DraftKings believes, that many people attached to this company believe, is the future of giving power to the fans who love sports. Politics and sports should not coexist together.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
there's in 2018, racial things in sports should have no place. They should be removed at all costs. We are all human beings who are just watching the sport or we're playing the sport. That is it. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in. We're all here to watch the game, right?
Yeah.
So,
But like Michael said, keep it for another time.
Yeah. Do charity work off the field, I just feel like. I feel like there's other ways,
And so I don't, my opinion on this matter is I just want to watch sports. If someone believes in something, believe in that. If someone believes in something else, believe in that. I'm going to watch sports. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to do what I do during the national anthem. And I love sports, and I want that to come back. And I just get very frustrated when non-sports things take over every sports conversation. And I say to myself, what happened to the world when this is more important than the game itself? Like, here's a good example. We're about to watch, even though we're not all soccer fans, the greatest sports tournament in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what's going to happen? They're going to start talking about things that have nothing to do with sports. Who's going to kneel? Who's not going to kneel? And why can't we just, as a world united in community, for the first time since the last World Cup, no wars, no racial tensions, just playing a beautiful sport in soccer.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion. And so I can't really say I'm one way or another because I'm not going to say what my opinion is. But I just think that sports is beautiful and we should all bring it back and let the fans talk about sports and not all these things that are going on, which are not nearly as important because they shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that to a degree, but I also think that it's a lot easier for all of us as white men to say, let's just talk about sports, when statistically we do have the most privileged life. Well, I don't fear that I'm going to get shot if I get pulled over by a cop. And so when you look at the NFL and you look at the demographic of players, or you look at the NBA and you look at the demographic of players, I can't say, I can't say that this issue, because this issue isn't as big of a deal to me as it is to them, because I don't get affected by it every day. I don't have the anxiety of whether or not someone's going to call the cops on me for having a barbecue or anything like that. I think that in some ways, we watch sports because we want to escape from all this, right? So I totally agree on that sentiment. Like, dividing politics from sports is, in my opinion, is what needs to happen. But on the same scale, I can't really say I know what they're going through because I've lived such a privileged life and I'm blessed for it because of how the structures in society have been built through history. I have a leg up. And so on one note, I do think that, we need to watch sports to escape from all the crap in the world, and we want to just focus on sports and sports talk. But on the other hand, and when I try to put myself in their shoes, I can't 100% do it. But when I try to, I can kind of see how. I mean, we just saw what happened with the Milwaukee Bucks player the other day. And when LeBron James and Derek Rose wear the shirts that say "Hands up, don't shoot," I support that because I think that they're. I don't think they're saying all cops are bad, but I think they're saying that, like, hey, we have a platform. Maybe this will help in some way. Do I know if it actually does? I have no idea. But if they think it does, and if it actually does, then I think all power to them.
Yeah.
It does bring awareness to the issue, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can really take away from that.
No.
But sports is to escape. We don't want to think about our mother-in-law or the problems in society or the problems in our family or what, anything. We want to just hone in, right? And whenever something else happens, it just it screws up with our focus. And so I agree. I think that let's leave the protests to Instagram and stuff like that. And I agree with Michael that charitable works and making sure that that's known is a good way, because everyone has a platform now with social media, so I don't see why we can't use that on Instagram or Facebook and keep it off the television screen when we're trying to just hone in on sports.
Yeah. And I think as long as, though, too, like, there's an open dialogue that can be had after the event or before the events, and all sides can be heard. That's the big thing, because sometimes, we don't hear both sides. Sometimes we only hear one, and I think as long as you can keep that open dialogue open after the games, and as long as people are willing to do that, that's a big thing, too. So, like, I'm not against having open dialogue as long as we can play our sports. And when I played football in high school, there was guys that I played on the team with that had differing views than I did. And, not just, there was some that were not just different politically, but also religiously. And, what football taught me was, though, to still work together with those guys, regardless of how we felt about things or what we believed about things. And so that's what I think we can all come together and say that's one of the great unifying powers about sports. It teaches people who come from different walks of life to work together for a common goal.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm about to say that's a great way to kind of like go out right there.
I honestly, I think that's a good note.
Right.
Maybe on the next mega podcast we can start it off with baseball, possibly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of trying to get to watching this Cleveland game. I have it on my phone down here, but
Quinn,
Yeah.
all I gotta say is us Nationals fans are facing a lot of injuries lately.
yeah, but it's fun to watch Scherzer. Man, it is fun to watch him play.
Hey
He is
guys,
exciting.
just remember the team with the longest playoff drought in any sports are right now on top of the AL West. That's right, the Mariners. Tied with the Astros. That's all I care about.
Win or lose, going Rays all the way.
Yay! I have no dog in this fight.
I saw them play against the Orioles a few weeks ago.
I can watch all of you tear each other apart. Yay!
And then Jeff's up there with Boston, so he's got the Red
we know
Sox.
that.
Hey, it's tough to win 17 championships in 20 years. It's hard. It's not easy to be a New England fan. We have our struggles. We have our struggles. We certainly do. But
Cassius Marsh.
Here's what no one understands is that just because we have a lot of titles, people think that we take them for granted. No, we want them more because we know what they feel like.
Oh, I call BS on that completely.
Oh boy.
As a DC fan, I promise you we want them more. I promise you.
All right.
Instead, I get to watch you guys tear each other apart. I didn't know we were starting early.
All right. I'm calling Carter right now. We're done.
All right, guys.
All right. This has been a great having you guys on. So not tomorrow. My goodness.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week, let's do this again.
Yep.
I've been recording this whole thing, so I'll send you guys the files if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Sure. Go
Sounds
for it.
good.
All right, you guys have a great night. Let's enjoy some basketball.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
I'll see you all in the verse.
And the group chat as well.
You got it. Yeah.
Sure.
There we go.
Remember, Jeff, 25.
25.
25.
What? You're at 4
You know
points.
what's closer than 24? 25.
Gotta
All right.
that joke.
All right, on that one,
All right.
I'm saying goodbye.
All right, guys. Take care.
Later, guys.